I zoomed in and then I zoomed back out. Because it's recording now. Put it more in your eye, because there's going to be a headset. Not so much, we're like right here. Okay, I can get the camera down the line. Yeah. Okay. There.
It is the fantastic Omni, ballroom historian and lifetime achiever.
Well, we have an interesting show for you, and I have to see if everybody's ready. Thank you for the lights. Oh boy. Yo, so does everybody know what a ball is? You don't know what a ball is? You never been to balls? Well, there are competitions within the gay community. It's been over 40 years now, since the 60s, but it really started back in the days with Marie Antoinette and King Louis I think it was the 14th. They used to have balls, and they had a panel of judges, and if the judge liked you and he saw you, he would raise his goblet. Then Marie and King Louis would sit as the head judges, so they could override the dukes, duchess, noblemen, and what have you that were judging you. They judged you on your outfit. And if they liked your outfit, they put their goblets up, and if they didn't, they would put them down and that you were dismissed. In the balls of today, they transcended from these balls that came down through Harlem with just it being drag balls. The drag queens, it was sort of like a pageant where you had to do certain categories, whether it's best dressed or high fashion evening wear or costume ordinaire, something extraordinary. And then later on in the 70s, they developed, they noticed the boys were coming, so they had to give the boys something to do. And now we have, at each ball, maybe 35 or 40 categories. You can be involved, whatever your category is, whatever your gender is, there's something at a ball for you. Okay, and that goes from best dress to best body to face. And yes, there's always some people that don't realize they shouldn't be in certain categories. But we have to be very nice because it's not nice to be nasty, So if your judge gives you a 4 or a -2, you'd understand that you shouldn't walk this anymore. Okay, so are we ready? We're gonna bring to you some voguers. You know all about Madonna. You know about How Do I Look, the film. If you don't, we'll introduce that to you as well. So we have some very talented people here tonight. And I guess they'll come out very soon. Let's give them a beat.
I want to take voguing not to just Paris is burning, but I want to take it to the real Paris and make the real Paris burn. That's what I want to do.
Willie Ninja, words.
My house name is Ninja.
They don't feel it, y'all. Ninja, house of Ninja. of
I
Ninja.
want to be a big star, known every corner of the world.
Work, serve, punish, destroy. Ninja, 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 ninja. N-I-N-J-A, it's Benny Javier, the house of Ninja. Serve, punish, destroy. 1001, the chicken is frying. 1002, the chitlins are clean. 1003, and hold that iconic ninja pose for me. Ninja, ninja, hustle, ninja, ninja. Come on, y'all can make them feel it. And I mean, you better work. All right, they twisted. Get y'all twisted like that. Ow. Ninja. Ow. Ninja, ninja, N-I-N-J-A. Ninja, ninja, N-I-N-J-A. Ninja, ninja, N-I-N-J-A. That's right, y'all. Y'all doing what they do? It's not easy. Ninja, 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 ninja. Don't go nowhere. All right, can I see the House of Ninja back here? I have to do a bit of props. Oh, I found me expensive pair of glasses. Please stop, they designers too. Okay, here we have the House of Ninja. And I believe the overall father is Benny. And let me tell you a little bit about Benny. Well, first let me introduce your name. Akiko? Akiko. Ninja. Edwin Ninja. Edwin. Edwin. Okay. Javier Ninja. One of the key players, also a multi-talented person. He has won so many trophies, and you know, that first How Do I Look flogging thing at the Wanda Perla's Walk For Me Wednesday, you came in, got some coins. And now we have Benny, the man who teaches all the models how to walk. He works with America's next top model. He works with Tyra Banks, and he's traveled all around the world. I've only been to maybe 2 places he's been to. But that's okay, so when he gets that extra buddy pass, I'll be going, you know, right? That's right. So that's Benny Ninja and the House of Ninja. And let me tell you, it's not easy voguing like that. You know, Madonna gave you the easy thing. She let Hosea and them do all the work. But these are the ones that really work. When they go home, I have to put Epsom salt in that bath water. Then, you know, take the shower after and hope that you can get your elbow right under the shower so the hot water can give you some of that ligament feeling, you know. But y'all give him another round of applause. Thank you, House of Ninja. And now we are going to have a screening. Wolfgang, would you like me to introduce you?
You work it.
Okay, well, If you like, this is my friend Wolfgang Busch, the director of How Do I Look, the director of Flow Affair, the director of Colors, A True Lesson in Humanity. He has many documentaries out. He's always trying to do something helpful for the community. Beautiful person. I went to Germany with him. I'm trying to go back again with him. And I mean, he's just got a wonderful family. They cook and everything. But I had a ball going there. I just enjoyed it. I went to his class reunion too. That was wonderful. They had belly dancers. And I was the only one not speaking German, so when I was laughing, the guy says, belly dancers, not so good. I said, no. There was a 300-pound belly dancer, remember? And I can't begin to tell you what that looked like. But anyway, would you like to say a few words, Wolfgang?
I have to thank you so many people. First, I want to thank Eric from the Thomson Reuters network, because without him, and in the back we have Ed, who made the introduction, because without these two we would not be here today. And we really, really appreciate it, Eric. It means a lot to us. And your network and the board. There's like 4 or 5 committee members here or more. So please give them another round of applause, because this is, we come from the grassroots. So we need to make partnerships with organizations like Thomson Reuters to help us and to help each other to come to the next level. Because without them, we're going to be stuck. We can't move forward and really expose our talents and get the credibility that we deserve. So it means really a lot to us. I also want to introduce, here's another icon. Ross Infinity. And Ross, he has an actual ball coming up. When?
July 11th.
And he has some flyers, so I know you definitely have some interest to experience a real ball. Now you have an opportunity, because you're going to see Ross, the bizarre fashion designer, and How Do I Look? That's him. So we are very privileged to have Ross in the audience today. So he has some flyers. So if you like to come to his ball, I highly recommend it. You won't be disappointed. So now a brief introduction about How Do I Look. It took about, I've seen the first ball in 1987 at Trax. That was the first time I saw an extravaganza ball. Yeah, I go just a little bit back, not too much. And it took me about 10 years to complete this documentary. In the beginning, you know, especially after this disaster with Paris is Burning, where it exploited the community so much, where they wouldn't let any photographers, any videographers were allowed to go to balls and videotape. So it was very difficult to get into the community at that particular time. But nevertheless, I was able, through people like Kevin Omni, to introduce me to the legends and icons. And it took a long time to get their trust, and I had to prove myself over and over. So it took a good 10 years to complete the project, and now let's just get started, and we have a few words later and more performances, so please enjoy it. Thank you.
Let's spend the next few minutes. We have Wolfgang with us for some questions and answers. And I think we're going to have Ed Flatich is going to actually start us off with our first question.
Thank you.
Wolfgang, you always bring it to the runway now. Let's give another round of applause for Wolfgang.
I leave that up to the children, actually. You don't want me to see the dip in any of that stuff.
No, we do. We want to see a duck walk. All right. Go ahead.
As far as I can go. The 5 elements of both. Thank you.
You know, Wolfgang, whenever I've seen the film, I've seen it a number of times with you. We presented it a few places. It's always amazing to me that it's an adventure. That you become part of this adventure. But people don't know there was an adventure inside of an adventure. And that was your adventure. Tell us a little bit about how you came about breaking into the community after they were burned by Paris's burning and all of that which transpired into the film.
I was working at Club Limelight at the time as a promoter, and the Gay Games was coming up in 1990 in Vancouver. So I got all the promoters together that I could reach out to create a fundraiser at the Palladium at the time to raise funds for the fundraiser for the Gay Games. That's how I met Mike Stone, who then introduced me to Kevin Omni, who crossed from the clubs also into the voguing community. And he introduced me to the individuals, including Ross Infinity, David Altomar, and Octavia, and then I was passed from one to the next to the next. And I basically had a one-on-one. They looked in my eyes. They wanted to know where I was coming from, especially after the experience they had. And with Jenny not being invited back, the director of Paris's Burning, to the community after the release of Paris's Burning, because they felt it was exploitive. Do you agree, Ross, with that? Yeah. So it's really unfortunate that the community is still suffering from this film, Paris is Burning. And so when we had meetings on a regular basis, because I wanted the input from the community, nobody had to sign a release form until the movie was finished, all because of what Paris is Burning had left behind. I didn't want to produce a film, the film that the community wasn't proud of or didn't want to participate in. So it was very important for me to have screenings on a regular basis, make sure they can have the opportunity to give their input and so on, and that's how it progressed, and that's why it took so long to complete. In addition, we couldn't get any funding. That we are so creative, that really doesn't mean much. Or how hard we are hit by HIV and AIDS, that also didn't mean much when I went for funding. So I had to fund it out of my pocket, and my down payment for the condominium went into this. So it took about $15,000 to do the film, and I could only invest a little at a time. So production is not that great, and it is truly a grassroots movement that we ended up doing. And to be able to finish the film with all the odds against us is really, to me, when I look back now, somewhat of a miracle. If I hadn't been able to do all the directing, the shooting, the editing, the marketing, the promotion, I don't think it would have ever seen the light. So it was a huge struggle, but also in struggle is where a lot of creativity is, and that process to me was very, very, it was very helpful. And I also, thank you. And we're still struggling. Things haven't changed much at all, completely. And we're always looking for making partnerships with new organizations and putting out our best foot forward, and hopefully one day a TV station will pick it up. And another thing is the idea of creating How Do I Look, or the new film Flow Affair, which is also an art form that originated in the LGBT community. Let's not forget, these are art forms that we have created, and we don't really hear too much about that either. So, in order to build an artistic infrastructure, part of that was, okay, how can we help ourselves, since there's really nobody who comes forward to help us. So came up with a concept to, with the contracts, to do a profit share. So I came up with a point system, so if the film should make money, then we all have a benefit from that. And based on that idea, I hope eventually it'll catch on and something will happen. So maybe we actually can pay the rent at some point, and I don't see why people like Jose or, unfortunately a lot of these people in How Do I Look have passed away, including Billy Ninja, Octavia St. Laurent, Pepe La Beja, true icons that have passed away. And they never were able to make a living in the wonderful world and art that they do. And we really need to change that. There's really no reason why we, as creative as we are, cannot find a concept or an outlet or build an infrastructure where we can actually make a living doing that. So that's kind of my goal.
Well, I think part of your adventure is bringing all the communities together, and I know myself when the film came out, and even Paris is Burning, I mean, even the white gay and lesbian community was shocked at what was going on in the Harlem community. They had no idea. They had no idea the creativity and talent that was coming out of that, and of course when Madonna picked up on it, it really exploded like a can of gasoline. So it is about bringing communities together, and you can see it's bringing a lot of different diverse groups together. Eric and I was speaking about even tonight, there are so many different types of Thomson Reuter employees that have joined us for this event, which is nice to see also. So it's not about only their LGBTF employee affinity group, but it's breaking out into a lot of segments. But I'd like to open it up to the floor now. If there's anyone with questions, I'll pass the mic to you.
And even if you have a question for Kevin or for Ross Infinity, how did you like Ross and his outfits? I mean, come on. Isn't that something else? So why can't he make a living doing that? See, these are all these things that go through my head, and it's like, I don't understand that. So.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Petrucci. I'm the head of Bailey House. We're providing housing to the HDIL community in 1983. And one of the things I was interested in, maybe this is a question for you, Kevin, I was interested, there was a second of reference between Rikers and the fashion houses and the wall, the wall. And I was interested in that because I know a lot of what we now call urban fashion actually started in prison and in jail. And a lot of the folks that we work with, a lot of the gay men actually, many of them are formerly incarcerated. And there's a whole, I think they're invisible, a lot of them are invisible in the LGBT community because they don't look like what people think gay men look like on the street.
It's realness. The realness, it's really weird, that word realness, especially in the ball community. What it means for me to define it is, why thank you. What it means for me to define realness is whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you believe in, bring it. You have to bring it 100%. If you want to walk through certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn, like when I was growing up in the 70s, gay people were, noticed. Those that really had self-confidence, or either they had mental illness and they didn't mind being attacked, or, you know, an outcast, you didn't wear pink pants walking down Fort Greene, or you didn't wear high shoes with yellow pants. Anything that, but bring that 70s into now, it's like, okay, you got yellow pants, you're gay, so what? You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing. But realness, even like for guys who just want to attract certain guys that don't want their business out in the street. So, you know, they want to go to bed with a man, but they on the street, they don't want nobody to know about it. So you got the guys that give you the Rikers Island effect. You know, the pants hanging down. And the reason for pants hanging down is because in jail they take your belt. So that's why your pants hang down. I don't really get it, but some people, that's what they do. They've made fashion out of it, but then there's campaigns about pulling your pants up. So, you know, and then there's been rumors that, you know, voguing started on Rikers Island. I just think it was a rumor, honestly, in my opinion. And I've heard all the stories, but I doubt very seriously if we waited for people to come from Rikers Island to show us how to model or strike a pose, you know. It's just that the kids that were arrested, that were gay, that knew how to vogue, were voguing in jail. But no, voguing didn't really come from jail as far as I'm concerned, you know. Did I answer your question? Yeah, it's a part of the world, you know. You got so many people out here, you know, they adapt to whatever it is with their lifestyle, how they feel, how they think, or what they do, you know.
And that's a real beauty what I experienced in the ball community, how inclusive they are. There is a category for every shape, form, whatever your background is, you're not being rejected, and I have not seen that in any other community. It is not political, it's all about inclusivity. And there is no community that I know that is so inclusive, and I really learned a lot from that.
Speaking of definition of realness, I was wondering if you could define the other words that were out there, if they use the word, so I'm not really sure. I understand those.
Do you know you remember any of them in particular?
Over.
Over is like, it should have been like over, O-V-E-R, like that's the best I've seen. It's one of those adjectives, and they change it into O-V-A-H, over. That means your shoes are acceptable, your pants, your outfits, everything, your whole presentation, your delivery, your performance, it's over. That means like 100%, like the best. Gagging is when, it can be used in so many different ways. It could be like, no, we're not talking about being on your knees and, you know, things of that nature. We're talking about, well, the child Edwin Ninja, when he put his leg up in the air and he split and he fell on the ground, y'all were gagging. Like, oh my God, did he really do that? Did that hurt? You know? And so that's one way you're gagging. And another way you're gagging is like, you live next door to someone who's a pig. And you happen to be looking out your window and you see them throw garbage out the window. You go, I am gagging at that. Like the nerve of them. So it could be, it's like an adjective word that could be many different things. All depends on how you use it, when you use it in the sentence.
The last one was, you were sitting.
Oh, that means, yeah, thank you. You can clap, everybody. Thank you. I try to sit everywhere I go, you know. I am sitting, you know. That means I'm done. You know, I could be in a three-piece suit, I could be in a tuxedo, I could be in an evening gown. I'm sitting. You know, there's no strings on my gown, there's no holes in my pants. I'm sitting. It's like sort of being perfection. Being a perfectionist, rather. You got it? Okay.
And of course, shady.
Shady can be used in different ways too. Like for instance, this child right here, Charles Balenciaga, he's shady. He'll smile and say, oh, that's nice. Oh, you really look really good. Child, did you see her? You know those people, the shady people. Like, I was just talking to Miss So-and-so, like, oh, breath, ooh, that's shady. Okay? You got it, or you need some more descriptions? Okay.
Anyone else with questions? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to point out we want to raise a little money if possible. We have some DVDs back there, $10, and we also have my new documentary, which we are going to introduce you with a couple of performances are still coming up. We have Mykel performing on it in a little bit, so you get an idea what my next documentary is about. It's called Flow Affair, and it's about the flagging, fanning, and voguing and flogging community. And we have like a work in progress DVD and a CD soundtrack, which is also including Melba Moore and Melissa Morgan. It's a real blessing that they came out and supported us, the community, because we have been supporting Melissa Morgan and Melba Moore. So this is part of them giving back to us, to the community, and it's a real blessing to have them on the soundtrack of the film and on the CD soundtrack. So if you buy all three, it's only $20 or $10 each. How did I do with my pitch?
Okay. There's a book called Convicts Candy. Convicts Candy. Now, I can think of what that means in my own mind, but it's a very catching title. And what does it mean? Well, let's put it like this. They said there's nothing sweeter than candy. Okay? Right? And we'll start off with saying, ever wondered if the man in your life who's been incarcerated turned to another with an alternative lifestyle for comfort? That's one of those books that you must have. You must have these books. You know, if you've ever met anybody from prison, you know, they come out. You know what I'm saying? And you, when they close the door, you know, giving you all that. Or this, no, I've never been in this situation, thank you. But, you know, then you have the ones that come home and they deal with their wives or their girlfriends, but when they're in jail, we don't really know what they're doing, okay? But you read this book, you're gonna find out what this candy is all about and how sweet it really is. And Hickson, could you just stand up?
The publisher.
He's the publisher of this book. He has some copies on the desk, and I think it would be really interesting because you know what? Most people in the world are oblivious to what goes on anywhere. Just like Wolfgang was saying, a lot of people don't know about the ball community. You had people that in the ball community, like Avis Pendavis, she could sew anything. She could sew a curtain. She could take a blanket and make it into a gown. She had so much talent. So you think, why not the world did not see her? Why did not the world see the sci-fi stuff that Ross does? There's so much talent in our community, but of course we're not, you know, looked upon because nobody really knows, you know, or nobody wants to say anything, or nobody wants to care because everybody thinks you're going to be stigmatized if you help some gay people. You know, go figure. And then you have books like this that explain, look, your husband was in jail for 2 years or 10 years. He might have something to do with this candy thing. So I think we should read and see what goes on, you know, in other places that we will probably, most of us, not visit, right? Okay, so let's give him a round of applause for making this book. And he has his website, Ghetto Heat, and his name is Hickson, and he's the publisher. How much is the book? $10 tonight? $10 tonight. And I think, well, you buy the book and then we can all share your book. Okay, Wolfgang?
You can see in the Flow Affair documentary, again, this is an art form that was originated in our community. And please give a welcome to the theater flagger Mykel. Thank you, Mykel. Now we have another treat for you from the new documentary Flow Affair. And he is a Grammy-nominated songwriter, and his songwriting partner also is Mykel O'Hara, and he produced and wrote together with what's the song?
Queen of the Underground.
Queen of the Underground. Thank you. You can hear the song in How Do I Look?
Oh my God! I really can't believe. Oh my God!
So now he wrote the new song Flow Affair, which is also the title track from the CD and from the movie. So please give a warm welcome to Jericho of the Angels. Jericho the Angels, come up here. CD is available in the back by Valentino. So please give it up for Jericho of the Angels, featuring the House of Ninja, Benny and Javier Ninjas, and the fabulous dancers. As you may notice, the vogers are also flagging now. Benny Ninja, Javi Ninja, the House of Ninja. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming this evening. Thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you, the House of Ninja, Jericho the Angels, and Mykel. I hope you all enjoyed this screening tonight. And thanks again, and happy Pride to everyone.